Every so often, ask yourself, what do I want to do with my life? Be honest about your life and goals, and don't set unrealistic goals. Make up your mind to see things as they really are, not how you think they should or could be. What changes does this practice make you think about? In any situation where you feel stuck or tense, be ready to accept that you may be wrong or have made a mistake. Today, decide to throw in the towel whenever you can. If something has changed or you have learned something new, be ready to change your mind and make a new choice based on the facts as they stand now. If you get new information or experience, should you change your plans or course? Do it now if you want to, because that's how things work. Some people will have more success and happiness than others. It's possible for some people to make more money, live better, be happy in their relationships, and give back to their communities more. Some people won't. The Menninger Institute in Kansas City did a study not long ago to find out what traits are most important for happiness and success in the 21st century. They did a lot of study and came to the conclusion that being flexible is the most important trait in a time of fast change. When someone is rigid, they don't want to change even when new knowledge or circumstances come up. Thinking that is rigid or set in its ways is the opposite of thinking that is flexible. Not having an open mind about life is the opposite of being able to automatically and predictably respond to any situation. Because of this, being flexible is important if we want to be, do, and have more than the average person. Today, perhaps the most important factor affecting our lives is the speed of change. We live in an era where change occurs at a faster pace than ever before in human history, and that pace is accelerating year after year. Today, change is not only faster but also discontinuous. It doesn't follow a straight line. It starts, stops, and moves in unpredictable directions. Change comes at us from all directions and in so many different forms that it is often impossible to anticipate what might happen next. By its very nature, change is unpredictable and often forces us to wipe the slate clean of our best laid plans and ideas overnight as a result of a new and totally unexpected phenomenon coming from a new and unforeseen direction. As a result, we need to be flexible in our thinking and our possible course of action. Change causes enormous tension in those who have rigid or fixed opinions about how things should be. These people fall in love with what they do, their current methods and procedures, and are reluctant to change even in the face of overwhelming evidence. Don't let this happen to you. The only real question you should ask yourself about what you are doing is, does it work? Does it achieve the desired end result based on the current situation? Is it the best course of action? The only measure of the rightness or wrongness of a decision or a given course of action is its effectiveness in achieving the desired result or reaching the goal we have set for ourselves. There are three things that cause change today, and they work together to make change happen faster. The first is the huge amount of data and information we have access to in every part of our lives. In a competitive market, one finding or piece of information can quickly change the way your business works. When a new product or service comes out that does the same thing faster, better, cheaper, or easier, it can make an old product or service or an important industry area useless. Suddenly, a major event like September 11th, shocking news from Wall Street, or a scandal in a political party or business can change the way people think, act, and buy things for a whole company or sector. For instance, the arms business was hit hard when the Soviet Union broke up, the Iron Curtain came down, and the Cold War ended in 1989. Hundreds of thousands of men and women with a lot of training and special skills were fired for good. Whole industries shut down, and the economy in some parts of the country went into a slump. The effects of change were too much to handle and could not be avoided. People who were the most adaptable were the only ones who could react and answer well. If you want to be flexible, you have to be open to new ideas, information, and facts that could help or hurt your business or your efforts to reach your goals. A brand new thought can make or break a lot of money. A thought can either lead you to wealth or away from it. Having the right knowledge at the right time can save you a lot of time, trouble, and money. It can cost you a lot of money to not know something. Everyone in charge reads. It is very important that you keep up with changes in your area, read the trade journals and papers that come out in your area, read the best-selling books that are connected to what you're doing. Go to conferences and classes, join groups in your field, and talk to other people in your field. The person who has the best and most up-to-date information always has the most power. The second driver of change is the rapid growth and accelerating evolution of new technologies. Every new scientific or technical discovery leads to a technological advance aimed at helping people and businesses do things faster, better, easier, or cheaper. The pace of technological advancement increases every day. The norm is that anything currently operational is already obsolete. A high-tech piece of equipment on sale today is outdated before you even take it out of the box. Today, new technology has a commercial lifespan of 6 months before it is replaced by something that does the job faster and cheaper. If you are not looking for ways to replace your product or service with something better, rest assured that your competitors are working overtime to find ways to put you out of business. We constantly seek ways to leapfrog over our competitors and serve our customers better, faster, and cheaper. Our competitors then leapfrog over us with a newer or better product or service. We quickly regroup and leapfrog over them with an innovation or improvement. Then they leapfrog over us, and the game continues uninterrupted. The same principle of accelerated obsolescence applies to our products, services, systems, and especially to our sales and marketing strategies. It applies to our advertising and promotional systems. Anything that works today will soon cease to work. Customers may get tired of it, competitors may copy it, or it may cease to attract current market consumers. A while ago, I paid $10,000 to an advertising firm to make an ad for me, which I then put in a national newspaper. It was a strong ad that got a lot of good reactions. We walked around the office giving each other high fives until the next week, when a rival used an ad that was exactly the same as ours and that we had paid to make. It was meant to sell their product, not ours. The number of responses dropped by half and kept going down. There wasn't much we could do about it. In our business, we have to always come up with backup plans for everything, because we know that something will soon stop working and we'll have to find something else that does. Short-term success can be the thing that hurts your long-term success the most. When you're successful in one area, you might become lazy and unwilling to change when the market changes. Do not let this happen to you. Today, our rivals in our area across the country and around the world are more determined and creative than ever. They are always trying to get our customers, steal our sales, damage our cash flow, and even get rid of us from the market if they can. They try to hurt our marketplace by aggressively selling their goods and services and using any argument and advantage they can think of. Our rivals are always getting new information and using cutting-edge technology to make us useless and give them an edge. There are more sellers, buyers, companies, and goods on the market today than there are people who want to buy or use them. The competition is getting harder and stronger. We need to pay more attention and be more motivated if we want to stay in this market and do well. Most of all, we need to be able to adapt. It's crucial to regularly reassess your situation from scratch. This mindset is also a vital tool for staying flexible. Ask yourself, is there something I do today that, knowing what I now know, I would not do again if I had to start from scratch? Examine each part of your life and business. Whenever you feel tension, resistance, or lack of success, ask yourself this question. Think from scratch. And if there's something you wouldn't start again today, immediately make plans to stop it and channel your resources and energies towards where you can achieve better results. Don't let your ego cloud your good judgment or common sense. Be more concerned with what is right than with who is right. You must be open to the fact that most of your decisions will turn out to be wrong over time. Be prepared to be flexible, especially in the face of new information, technology, or competition. There are 3 statements you can learn and repeat over and over to remain flexible in turbulent times. The first is, I was wrong. Most people would rather bluff, boast, and deny than admit they were wrong, and admit they were. What makes this refusal to admit we are wrong even worse is when everyone around us already knows we are wrong. We are the only ones deceiving ourselves. When you realize you were wrong, the smartest thing you can do is to admit it quickly, fix the problem, and move forward towards achieving your goal or result. It is thought that up to 80% of the time and energy of important people in big businesses and groups is spent hiding the fact that they were wrong and don't want to say it. A lot of businesses, big and small, have gone out of business because they wouldn't or couldn't see a clear mistake. Saying, I made a mistake, is the second thing you need to learn to stay open. So many hours of work, resources, and funds are wasted because some individuals have such huge egos that they refuse to say they made a mistake, even if everyone else can see it. It's almost solved once we say, I was wrong and I made a mistake. Everyone can start working to solve the problem or reach the goal at that point. But things won't move forward as long as the important person won't say they were wrong. In national politics, I've seen this happen many times when someone wouldn't say they made a mistake. This wasted a lot of time and energy for everyone, and sometimes for the whole country. The third statement you must learn to make quickly and easily is, I changed my mind. If you receive new information that contradicts what you used to make a previous decision, you must be willing to frankly admit that you have changed your mind. It is not weakness or a character flaw to be wrong, make a mistake, or change your mind. In fact, in times of rapid change in knowledge, technology, and competition, it is a sign of courage, character, and flexibility to be willing to cut losses quickly and practice the principle of reality in everything you do. Be willing to face the world as it is, rather than how you would like it to be or how it might have been in the past. Face the truth, whatever it may be. Be honest with yourself and everyone around you. Always be open to reassessing your goals and objectives in light of new information, technology, or competition based on what is now the best path forward. If it's not, what else should you do? What more could you do? If it's a goal and the circumstances in which you decided it have drastically changed, make sure you still want to achieve it enough to fight and sacrifice for it. Be willing to let it go and set a new one if you have changed your mind or if it is no longer as important to you as it once was. In a time of rapid change, resolve to be the first to recognize and embrace any change as soon as it occurs. Expect it as part of the normal course of events. Refuse to be surprised or upset when things don't turn out as you thought they would or should. Especially, be flexible with the important people in your family, your friends, your coworkers, and your customers. Be willing to listen to and consider different points of view. It's okay to say you're wrong sometimes, so always be ready to do that. There is something about leaders that makes them great. They listen well. Before coming to a decision, they ask a lot of questions and take in as much knowledge as they can. They also know when they have done something wrong and quickly move on to bigger and better things. You should remember another thing about being flexible for the rest of your life. It was named the theory of precession by the scientist and philosopher Buckminster Fuller, which is not a word that can be found in any dictionary or book. This idea is known as the corridor principle by Robert Ronstadt of Babson College. Napoleon Hill said that the most successful people in the U.S. have learned that behind every setback or problem lies the seed of an equal or greater chance or advantage. Because of this idea, when you set a new goal, you will have a general idea of what to do and where to go. You will almost certainly, though, run into new problems that make it impossible to keep going in that direction. Still, by some miracle, just when you think you've hit a wall, another door of opportunity will appear, taking you down the path to success. You will quickly take advantage of the chance because you are adaptable. You will start going in that direction, making a new product or service and selling it to that new group of people. As you progress down that new corridor, you may run into another obstacle or impediment that blocks your path once again. Yet, just as you encounter this new wall or obstruction, another opportunity will open up, leading you down yet another different corridor towards your goal. This can happen several times with various false starts. In almost all cases, you will achieve your greatest successes in a field very different from what you initially planned. The key is to remain flexible. The most important rule of flexibility is to be clear about your goal, but flexible about the means of achieving it. Always be open to the influence of your superconscious mind. Stay sensitive to the possibility of serendipitous and synchronous events. Be open to ideas, inspirations, and contributions from others. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus says, "Unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." One interpretation of these words is that we must remain open, flexible, calm, trusting, and curious. If we want to be able to recognize the new opportunities and possibilities that open up around us as we move towards our goal, resolve to remain flexible and open no matter what happens. Remember that there is almost always a better way to accomplish any task or achieve any goal. Your objective should be to stay alert and aware of what that might be, discover it, and then act in that new direction as quickly as possible. This will ensure that you inevitably reach your goal, sometimes in the most unexpected and surprising ways.